having a sort of prosperous industries and economies, very good economies, because they have more than much labor. He said, no, he asked his students, go and find out what these poor people in the village want. And they said, we don't have money, we want to start our own business. He gave his salary, the whole month's salary, to go start a business to 2 women. And they returned the money back. And that's how he started this Grameen Bank. Grameen in Bengali means village. And see, it's not only him who has achieved something. He has transformed the society of Bangladesh, the Grameen Bank. Not only him, but the whole people. And that's what is the persistence.
Thank you, Julian. I think the question that you've asked is a very important question, and I think deserves to be thought through and understood. So let me take a stand, because when we look at the world, or more particularly Pakistan where we live in, one thing that we have plenty of in Pakistan is need. The resources might be less, but there is plenty of need. So we need to really think through and understand how do we address this immense need that we see around us on a day-to-day basis. And there are various ways of addressing those needs. And I think the distinction really comes from when you look at social issues, you look at poverty, there is the, for lack of a better phrase, the traditional charitable or philanthropy model of addressing those needs, which is very critical, very important. So, not to take away from that, but to look at alternative models. The social entrepreneur would look at alternative models which are sustainable ways of solving those issues of poverty and the social issues that we face. And they would not be necessarily always a donor-driven model. So, and both these approaches need to coexist. And both these approaches are very important if we are to solve the huge needs that we have in Pakistan. So I think there would be that distinction in terms of when we talk of a donor-driven model and a non-donor-driven sustainable model, but both addressing the needs of poverty, both addressing the social issues that we have. And I think this is very well summarized, in fact, by a hadith based on a very famous incident that happened with the Holy Prophet. When he said that if a man needs food, give him an axe so that he can cut wood and feed himself. Based on an Ansar came and asked him for food, and he said, "What do you have?" So he said, "I have a blanket and I have a cup." And he said, "Okay, bring them." He auctioned them. He got 2 dinars for that. He said, "Go and buy an axe," which he mended himself, and then said, "Don't come and see me for 15 days. 15 days later, he came back and he said, "So, how are you doing? How are you keeping?" And he said, "I have 12 dinars now, and I'm being able to feed myself." So, it's a question of, as I said, not just fishing or giving to fish or teaching people to fish, but to actually enabling them to be in a self-sustaining model without the need for, and there'll always be segments of society, which need to be helped through the donor-driven model, because that's the only way. They don't have any economic power to do anything else. But there is a large segment of poor people also who have some economic power, and they need to be helped with models, with enterprises that can give them that economic choice, that help them with dignity rather than handouts, and allow those resources to be only used for people who really can't afford it.
All praise to Allah. Before we set out to examine my viewpoint, I would like to ask the audience what they think is success. And I would have somebody from the first 2 benches here.
What's the question?
What is success to them? Tim, what is the meaning of success? Somebody could,
Right.
from the right side.
Speak out.
Yes, sir.
Anything which satisfies you, anything you plan, the thing that you have done, and in the end it satisfies you, that's success in my opinion.
Anything that satisfies you is success.
Anybody else here? Yes, sir.
Success is that you are getting respect from others.
Any yes? You just combing your hair?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, lady.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Well, for me, there is no success and there is no failure.
Come again.
There is no success and there is no
There is
failure.
no failure. You just keep going on.
So,
It's okay.
before we say a word more, yes, please.
I would say that success to me is an absence of fear of anything, fear of financial difficulties, fear of relationships, breakups.
What would you say? What is success for you in life?
For me, success is being able to live in the absence of any fear of any kind.
What about you? What do you say is success in your life?
Me?
Yes.
Success is, I think it's a happiness.
Mashallah. See, here we need to define what success is. Yes.
For me, moving from one failure to another failure is without losing of enthusiasm is success.
That's a good determination. Sir. Very good. That's very. Yes, sir.
Success is what you practice it, what you learn it. For me, success is something that what you learn and you practice in your daily life, and you get satisfaction from that.
And in
That
life?
Yes?
Success in life?
Success in life, that's what I'd say. That you
She
get to
said
learn about life and you practice it.
getting all the goods that you want to be happy. So, goods for you.
Yeah.
Is it the same for you?
Well, that's another thing there, another perspective. But in my perspective, what you learn daily, then you practice it, you achieve happiness. That is what success is all about.
Okay, so we need to define what success is before we can, carry this discussion any further, at least with me. And we need to understand that if success is in working very hard and accumulating a lot of wealth, and through the wealth buying resources, things, material things, which will eventually make you happy. And once you have all these things, that you can have a lot of moj, have masti and moj. And is that success? But that's it, you see, everybody is doing this. We are all working very hard. खूब मेहनत करो, खूब माल कमाओ, माल से फिर चीजें हासिल करो, चीजों से खुशी हासिल करो, जैसे मैडम ने कहा. Is it true? No. True for me. So maybe we need like one more to understand what success is. Success is in accomplishing your objective. If your objective is not accomplished, you are not successful. Abi, do we all agree on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the previous definition of success is wiped out, which says that you earn very hard, and you make a lot of money, and through money you buy luxuries or whatever needs and things that you want. So your wants are fulfilled, and that makes you happy, and that is happiness. So we have now wiped that out, and we are saying to achieve an objective in whatever you're doing. Suppose Bari Sahib has an objective, mashallah, Bari Sahib, I don't feel like talking in front of him. He is going to create history for himself and for this country. He's doing, tremendous amount of work, and I make dua for him all the time that he succeeds and he gets easiness in his life and his children's life. But what I'm saying is, if we all agree that the definition is to, when you achieve an objective, that is success. If you are studying for an exam and you pass in it, that's success. If you are making a hospital and you make it, that is success. Okay? So the definition has to change from happiness to, working towards objectives and achieving them. Allah has created man for what? Yes, the backbench. Yes, okay, fine.
कुरान में ये है कि मेरी इबादत के लिए बनाया है.
Mashallah. Anybody differs in this? Huh? No. Allah ने अपनी इबादत के लिए बनाया. Ibadat means to follow. لٹرل میننگ ہے عبادت کے فالو. تو اللہ نے چاہا کہ ہم عبادت کریں یعنی اللہ کو فالو کریں. اب ہماری سکسیس کا پیرامیٹر کیا ہوگا؟ Anybody else? اگر آبجیکٹو ہے ہمارے دنیا میں آنے کا آبجیکٹو ہے اینڈ سکسیس پیرامیٹر ہے کہ ہم آبجیکٹو فل کریں. آبجیکٹو کیا دنیا میں آنے کا؟ عبادت کرنا یعنی اللہ کے حکم کو ماننا. تو اللہ کے حکم کو ماننے والا سکسیسفل ہے. اور حکم کو سکھایا کس نے؟ نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. دیکھو مال سے بننے کا جو طریقہ ہے یہ شداد، قارون، فرعون ان لوگوں کا ہے. حمان ان کی تو چابیاں بھی پتہ نہیں اونٹوں پہ سفر ہوتے ہیں. بٹ واٹ از سکسیسفل؟ ہاؤ مینی آف یو ول کیپ یور سنس نیم فرعون، حمان، قارون؟ قارون آپ نے اب قارون رکھیں گے اپنے بچے کا نام؟ اچھا نہیں، میبی یو آر جسٹ ٹچنگ می ہیئر. اب چینج کر لیں گے. تو اور بلال کتنے لوگ کون رکھیں گے؟ بلال that worthless servant, the slave who was put in the sun and a big stone on his chest and was crying and was beaten. جب وہ حضرت بلال پہلی دفعہ خانہ کعبہ پہ چڑھے تو انہوں نے کہا یہ کیا کالا بندر جو ہے اس کو اوپر چڑھا دیا خانہ کعبہ. کتنے لوگ ہیں جو بلال رکھنے کے لیے تیار ہیں نام؟ ماشاء اللہ. تو میرے دوستوں چیز یہ ہے کہ we need to get our perceptions right as far as what success is. If success is what is an objective that you have created for yourself, then that when you achieve it, you are successful. And similarly, ایک پیرامیٹر ہے ہمارے بنانے والے کا. Everybody that we are sitting here are running towards our dreams. So for us and our Creator's objective is to pray, to have His obedience. اگر ہم اللہ کے حکم کو مان رہے ہیں ہم سکسیسفل ہیں. پر اگر کسی کے پاس مال آ بھی گیا, for instance he works very hard, لیکن مال سے ہونے کا یقین نہیں ہے کہ ہوگا نہیں ہوگا. بھائی ڈاکٹر صاحب کے پاس جاتے ہیں, مال ان کے تو مال ہی نہیں لیتے. جس کسی کے پاس جاتے ہیں وہ کہتے ہیں دوا لکھ کے دے دی انہوں نے, وہ پتہ چلا پورے پاکستان میں دوائی نہیں مل رہی. دوا مل گئی, شفا نہیں مل رہی, آپ ٹھیک نہیں ہو رہے. there is no guarantee. لیکن وہاں پر محنت کی, اللہ کو راضی کیا, اللہ کے حکم پہ چل کے, نبی کے طریقے کے مطابق چل کے, تو شور شاٹے اللہ سنے گا. پر اللہ اپنے ذریعے سے شفا عطا فرمائے گا, یا جو بھی اسباب چاہیے اس کو کرے گا. اللہ نے کر کے دکھایا. ساری ہسٹری اگر اسلامک ہسٹری پڑھ لی, ساری ہسٹری پڑھ لیں تو واضح ہے کہ جو اللہ سے مانگتے ہیں جو متقی اور پرہیزگار ہیں اللہ ان کی سنتا ہے, جو اللہ پہ اعتبار کرتے ہیں. آج کافی لوگوں نے اعتبار کیا کہ یہ سب آئیں گے جتنے سیٹ پہ سامنے بیٹھے ہیں, تو سب لوگ پہنچ گئے یہاں تک. We do not trust Allah. ہم اللہ کو تو مانتے ہیں, اللہ کی نہیں مانتے. ہم اللہ کو مانتے ہیں, ذرا سا کوئی گالی دے دے اللہ کو, دوسرے کا گلا کاٹتے ہیں, لیکن اللہ کی نہیں مانتے. We are not obedient servants of Allah, for which He has created mankind. He has created mankind only, and jinn, only one thing, that is to obey Him, عبادت کرنے کے. تو میرے دوستوں, what we need to do is take some time out tonight and just for 5 minutes or 3 minutes, just think about where we are going. Where is our destiny? Have we fulfilled the objective? We are all running towards our grave. We will be there. مکری کے قبرستان جائیں تو پتہ نہیں 200 سال ہے, 2000 سال پرانی قبریں ہیں. 2000 سال سے لوگ سو رہے ہیں. And similarly, we are also going to be in those kind of cupboards very soon. Nobody knows. And maybe we will rot there for years and years and years, hundreds and thousands of years. اور جن کو بدن کو ہاتھ لگانا, یعنی جن کو مساج کرنے کے لیے بڑے بہترین خوبصورت ہاتھ ہوا کرتے تھے, اور جن کو لپسٹک پاؤڈر لگانے کے لیے بڑی آرائش کی جاتی تھی, وہ کیڑے کھا رہے تھے, میگٹس. آپ میں سے کافی لوگ یہاں ڈاکٹر نہیں ہیں, میگٹس کھا رہے ہیں, وہ جو رینگنے میں لکھے تھے وہ کھا رہے ہیں. और 4 दिन बाद पेट फट जाएगा फूल के सारा, बदबू हो जाएगी सारे कब्र के अंदर। अब कुरान में अल्लाह कहते हैं हम रूहों को हुक्म देंगे आलम अरवा से, वो अपनी बॉडी को पहचानेंगे और उसमें वापस चले जाएंगे क़यामत से पहले। तो मेरे दोस्तों, we need to make sure that we understand that this life, if we want to succeed, then the meaning of the success or the parameter of success is how much hukum we are making, obeying to Allah and Rasul. That is success.
Thank you very much.
Now, the relevance that everybody is talking about social. In Islam, Allah, who is the manufacturer of our bodies and of this universe and the universe that you see around, He tells us how to do business. That is the model of social marketing or social entrepreneurship that is, we have never studied. For this reason, we do not know how the biggest Ashaba Ikram had thousands of employees. We really don't know this. And they never were in their businesses. They were not, like Zur was never 100% involved in his business. He had managers like we have. And similarly, Ashaba Ikram had a force of 10,000, 15,000 people working for them, slaves and workers. So they were big businessmen. But the concept of business in Islam is different. It says you do business because you want to make money for yourself, for your family, and so that you can provide for others, people who are below your line. That is the concept of business. There is no concept of even competition in Islam. There is no competition. And this is how it says in Hadith, is that there was a shopkeeper who, a stranger from another city came and he came to that shop and said, I want to buy this. Give me this. He says, I can't sell you. Why? He says, because I have done my, whatever I wanted to make money, I have made it for today. Please go to the next shop, which is next door to me, and buy from them because he hasn't had customers. So the whole concept of business, the social entrepreneurship that you're talking about, actually is a reflection of Islam. The concept which Allah, who is the manufacturer, आज आप अपनी गाड़ी में, आपके पास कौन सी गाड़ी है? कौन सी गाड़ी? आपके पास कौन सी? टोयोटा कौन सी है? कोरोला, डीजल है या पेट्रोल? उसमें डीजल डालने चलेगी? जहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है कि पेट्रोल डालो, वहाँ पानी डाल देते हैं और आगे जहाँ पानी की जगह वहाँ पेट्रोल डाल देते हैं, चलेगी? When you can understand the basic that the manufacturer has told you where to put diesel and where to put petrol and where to put water, and if you make a difference, if you make a switch, it will go kaput. How can this body function and the whole nizam of Allah functions without obeying the rules of Allah, who is manufacturer of our bodies?
Thank you, Sir. Before I give it to Rehan, or I not give it to Rehan, so this is interesting. I'm sorry, I'm going to take 30 seconds. So I prove my point. You don't know social entrepreneurship. So this is another method. I think Mr. enlightened us with a very interesting thing. Follow Islam and social entrepreneurship naturally. Rehan, I'll give you 27 seconds.
I don't think I can define it anymore after what just heard. On a lighter note, anybody who is doing any business in Pakistan, I think is a social entrepreneur, because majority everybody wants to leave the country.
Beautiful.
So if they're doing business, they're already social entrepreneur doing something good. So I think I agree with the definition of Islam, but I think that's the one. But
Thank you very much. I wanted to have more questions from the audience, so I'm going to ask few questions and second this up. I promise करें आप छोटे जवाब. तो ये audience जो है intellect तो ज़्यादा बन गया. I'm going to move to Benji a quick one. There was a previous session which was on academia and industry. I thought it was fascinating, and there were so many students, and I enjoyed the questions which were flowing like water. Benji, you are doing Amal Academy, which is similar to what academia and mixing the two industries together, academia and industry. Can you share a little bit of what that is and how that constitutes social
Actually, I think I was supposed to be on that panel, and there were so many great people on that they put me on this one. Not to say that this one has any less of quality people. That is essentially what Amal Academy is focused on, is this gap between the industry and academia. And it really goes back to a period of time when I was living in Kenya, and I was involved in a football team, and I played striker. And I got to know all of the team members on our squad. And they were in high school, and they were in university, and they were graduating from their programs, and they're facing the same problem that we're facing here in Pakistan, which is they would finish the program, and they still wouldn't be able to find good quality jobs. And at that time, I eventually, one of my team members, he started actually robbing houses. That was all he could resort to, robbing houses. And eventually he got caught.
So इसको शेयर भाई को reply कर रहा है.
And for me, this was just such an eye-opening experience that we have to do more. That students have a dream and they have an aspiration, and they believe that education will help them fulfill that dream and those aspirations. And they're completing their programs, oftentimes those dreams aren't being realized. And so when I found out that he was killed, I was actually working in Pakistan. And at that time, just a couple months later, I was here in Karachi and I got mugged for the first time. And I was seeing the same problems in Kenya, or in Karachi that exist in Kenya. And I told my mother about this, and she's saying we're having the same issue here in Sacramento, where I'm from. And so it's not just a Pakistan issue, it's not just a Kenyan issue, it's a global issue. And so what we are trying to do at Amal Academy is a small step towards helping with that problem. And specifically, we're providing soft skills. When I was working as an Acumen Fellow at Pharmagen in Lahore, we tried to build a team of 15 people. And people looked great on paper, on their CVs, but when we sat them down and interviewed them, and we interviewed over 100 people for 15 positions, we could only hire 5. And the other 10, they lacked confidence, they lacked communication, they weren't presented well, they couldn't think critically on their feet. And so what we did, we were desperate. We had Acumen Fund investment, and we needed to scale up. We brought 10 people on as unpaid interns, and we trained them ourselves in the soft skills. And within about a month, they were performing at the same level as those other 5. And so this idea that there is this gap that exists, I realized this idea very, very strongly, but the second idea I realized was hopeful, that you can fill that gap with some support. And it doesn't actually take much. And so essentially that's what we're focusing on at Amal Academy, is helping to fill that gap, and then we're working with corporations as well to understand what type of caliber of people they need, what kind of skills they need, and we're doing training at corporations to get a better sense of what are the challenges that they're facing. And so in a way, it's a cross-subsidy model. We're working with corporations who are paying for us to do training, and then we're providing this kind of same type of training to the students.
Thank you very much. I'm going to jump to Rehan. This is interesting. In the panel, I believe he's the only one which does not have a formal degree. Correct. The guy runs 51 institutions or companies. He should not be sitting on the panel. I don't know why he's sitting there. But he's successful. So was Bill Gates. So was Steve Jobs. So he's part of that league of entrepreneurs. Can you help guide these young gentlemen first not to do what you just did, but tell us a little bit of what inspired you to start these institutions or these companies, and how you journey went to this level.
As we were all hearing earlier in the panel, that the role of entrepreneur is actually a problem solver. Right? This country is full of problems. We all say that all the time, but we don't see them as opportunities. All I've ever done is found a problem, start talking about it, tell people about it, tell other people about it, that hey, you know what, you can make a lot of money using this. And I have seen that we are in a country where there's a lot of rat race. And when you start doing something, then only they start following you. So my model has been very simple. If if somebody doesn't listen, I start doing it myself. I might not do the best job in the world, but there's lots of followers who would come in and actually do a better job than I would, and I would be very happy if they would do that. But that's been my way of doing things. And again, money has been taken as one object, which people say that you need a lot of money to start a business, and that is why I have never started with a lot of money. So I'm now teaching, as I was telling you earlier, I have created, my goal is to get at least 1 million entrepreneurs. And each entrepreneur should be able to start their own business at $100. And we should be able to make at least a decent amount of money, which I think is at least $300, today's benchmark. So that's what I do now full time. I took a target of my businesses, and now I'm very happy that I have a good team which runs my business, which makes money, which helps me be able to do what I'm doing. And that's what I do now, teaching full time on YouTube, online, using mobile phones to scale it up. I mean, using .com philosophy that 1 million users is not really a lot of users. So using the same philosophy, we want to be able to scale it to that level. I don't know if I will be successful. I more than likely might fail, but I would be very happy to learn from that experience. And I think I'm calling it like my own PhD on doing this adventure which I'm having. And a lot of great products have come out of it, like the Rayhan School Project, the Mobile-Based Education Project, which has won awards, which I'm speaking in Oxford University about, and in UNESCO about. It's really great project, which is targeting taking Mr. Beans and Amitabh Bachchan to teach basic education on mobile phones for free. So then similarly the university project where we're taking Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Richard Bransons of the world, taking their video content from YouTube, downloading everything, cropping it all up, putting it back online so we can have leadership from them rather than from a book. So that's the kind of, I mean, when you experiment, something really crazy happens. And I'm willing to fail if that is what it takes to start all this thing.
So did I hear you right? For $100 you're teaching, you can turn it into $300?
No, we want to teach people to start their own business with this $100. For example, Asuwat has helped 1 million people already within the last 10 years, given money, but they don't teach how to do that business. We want to teach them how to do that business and put in their own sweat and blood, and their labor should come out at least $300 as net profit. I'm not saying, well, I'm not being the, what's that, double Khan or something? I'm not trying to yeah, so that's not the model. We're just teaching how to do it. And again, we will fail a lot. We're still failing a lot. We need a lot of help and mentoring for that also. But we have set up 120 websites doing that. We've done a lot of, we've spent a lot of money, spent a lot of work on it. But I think we just started our Alu shop. So it's starting. We'll start seeing them on the airports inshallah very soon. We're on the way. So it's starting to happen.
So Farooq, you do Farooq, you do see your next investment from Acumen to Rayhan, Fries and other things. So I think for the students, it's a good segue to these interesting ventures and everything, talking from Fries to tutorials and videos and everything. Farooq, can you guide us, because Acumen has seen lots and lots of these kind of ventures and different things, and I've seen you guys invest from as little as a few $100,000 to millions of dollars. What kind of social ventures you look at, and among these students, what message do you give them that when they come to you, what kind of things they bring that you are interested in investing or giving your money out to?
As far as Acumen's focus is concerned, there are really 6 sectors that we focus on globally as well as in Pakistan, which is health, education,